call it as the protective tissue, and they are obviously known as the epithelial tissue. Okay, the protecting the covering layer of the body, and that is your epithelial tissue. Okay, now
Okay.
this epithelium, it covers most of the organs and lines the body. See here, I have mentioned two things. First is making a cover and then line. Okay, the lining and covering. Can anybody tell me the difference between these two things? What is the difference between covering and lining?
Lining is like just the border, and covering is like the whole thing.
Anyone else? Give it a shot. It can be a wild guess also, whatever you think.
Ma'am, I can't hear you clearly.
Is it fine now?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Yeah, I was saying, anyone else? Give it a shot. You can take a wild guess over here. What is the difference between covering and lining?
Um,
Hmm? No one?
wait a second, let me think.
See, anything that is actually present on the outer side as the protective layer. For example, if this is a cell, let's just say this is an organ. Okay. Now,
Okay.
if anything, if I say that something, a layer is covering it, so the covering will be present on the outside. Okay. That is your, like how you cover something, isn't it? You cover it from the outside, right? So when
Yeah.
you, like when the layer is present on the outer side, that is your covering. Now talking about the lining, when it is present from the inside, okay, lined by something. So when it is present on the inside of something, that is lining, and when it is present on the outside, that is covering. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now see, another thing, if I say that any organ in the body is covered with the epithelial tissue and it is also lined with the epithelial tissue, what do I mean by that?
The inside
Um,
and the outside.
Yes, the inside and the outside part, both of them have a layer of epithelial tissue present. Is this thing clear to every single one here?
ma'am, why is your voice sound so low?
What?
Your voice comes so low.
My voice gets low sometimes.
No, your voice is so low. The voice is not coming.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe some network issue might be there. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. So up till this much, is everything clear to everyone here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now moving forward, let us see that the epithelial tissues are present in the lining also, in the covering also. They are tightly packed. And by tightly packed, can somebody tell me what is the meaning of tightly packed?
Like it's covered tight.
Meaning
There
the
is no intercellular space.
exactly. There is the presence of no intercellular spaces. It means that each of the cells are so closely situated together that there is no space between them. Okay, so they are tightly packed. Okay, like this. Like if a cell is present here, it is so tightly packed that there is no space in the middle. Okay, it is very close situated. Now, there are no intercellular spaces, and because of the exchange of materials to and fro, or you can say to and from the body, the epithelial cells are permeable. They are permeable so that exchange of materials can take place. To meaning outside the epithelial cell and from like inside the epithelial cell. Both the type of exchange of materials, it has to take place from the epithelial cells, and this is the reason why they are permeable in nature. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let us talk about the types of epithelial tissue. But before that, I had to tell you an example of this permeability is alveoli. Okay, so see, alveoli is like balloon like structure which is present in the lung. Okay, this alveoli is of exchange, the site of exchange of gases. Okay, so at this place, it means that the epithelial tissue of the alveoli, it will be permeable. Then only the exchange of gases can take place, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Is this clear up till now?
Yes, ma'am. It's clear.
Okay. Now let us look at the certain types of the epithelial tissue. The first one is the squamous epithelium. The second one is the stratified epithelium. Then there is the cuboidal epithelium. And ultimately, the last type is the columnar epithelium. There are four types of epithelial tissue. Now, talking about the epithelial tissue, they are extremely thin, they are flat, and they form a delicate lining. Okay, is it clear to
Yes,
everyone?
ma'am.
Yes, so like let's just talk about, see, each of these different types of tissues, or you can say each of these epithelium, whether it is squamous, stratified, cuboidal, columnar, they are differentiated based on, how they look, how they appear. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first you note it down and then we'll move forward. Is everyone done?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone's done? Okay, see these epithelial tissues where they are present, so they are basically covering the it covers the whole body. Okay, these epithelial tissues they cover the whole body. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good.
Ma'am, for the types of epithelium, there's only four.
Yes, in general, in totality, there is four types of epithelial tissue.
But in my class, we wrote that there are six.
Yeah, see, that six would contain like this thing, ciliated one. Okay, ciliated is just if ciliated columnar tissues are there, then cilia is present on the columnar tissue. So on like in general, there are four types, but there are certain modifications. Okay, we will come to that. Don't worry about it. We will come to it.
Okay, ma'am.
Everyone's done up to now. Okay, let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, when you're writing about the epithelial tissue, you write down. I'll recite. Okay, so you write down types of epithelial tissue. Write down types of epithelial tissue, and then you write down these following types. In which you write down this first one is squamous epithelium. Then there is stratified epithelium. There is cuboidal epithelium. There is columnar epithelium. Then you write down there is ciliated columnar, ciliated columnar epithelium, and lastly there is glandular epithelium. Okay, these are your following six different types of epithelial tissues. Done, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, we are going to actually learn it in a very easy way so that when you people revise, you'll find it very easy. So you put make a chart, okay? The first column you write down type, okay? Draw one line separating it, and my line is not straight. You draw a straight line, and then you write down characteristics. This is for everyone, okay? Even for those students who have done these classes with me, you also draw it, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So first is type, then there is characteristics, then the third column is location, okay? And then the last column is function. This will, like, in this way, it will be much easier for you people to learn things, okay? So can we
Ma'am,
give that? Hmm?
like for what it is, like which,
This is actually, we are talking about the types of epithelial tissue, okay?
okay, ma'am.
The types of epithelial tissues and make these columns. Okay, so first tissue that we are going to talk about is the squamous epithelium. Okay, is everyone done writing the headings for like the columns?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the first cell or the first type of epithelial tissue is the squamous epithelium. Okay, then in the characteristics you write down cells are large, cells are large. Okay, cells are large, comma, extremely thin and flat. Extremely thin and flat. Okay, that is your characteristic of squamous epithelium. Is everyone done writing this thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone? What about the
Yes,
others?
ma'am.
Okay, very
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
Now let us talk about the location of these. Where are these epithelium found? Where is the squamous epithelium found? So you write down here in the location column, you write down lining of blood vessels. Okay, you write down lining of blood vessels. Then after that you write down lung alveoli. Galvin, you can mute yourself. We can hear you humming. Then in the esophagus, then the lining of mouth and cheek. Okay, these are the locations where the squamous epithelium are found. Is this clear to everyone? The lining of the blood vessels, the lung alveoli, the esophagus, the lining of the mouth and the cheek. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
now
ma'am.
see, if I'm saying that it is forming the lining of the blood vessels, it is forming the lining of the mouth and the cheek. Now, what do I mean by this? Is it present on the outside or the inside?
Uh,
Inside.
inside.
Yes, inside. Okay, and now coming to the function. So you write down the function is transport, transport of substances, transport of substances through a selectively permeable membrane. Through a selectively permeable membrane. That is the function. Okay, selectively permeable is that it means that it is not permeable to every single thing, but it is actually permeable to only like only the stuff that actually has to be transported. Is this much clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Yes.
clear.
Okay. Are you done writing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now let us talk about the second type of the epithelial tissue, which is your stratified squamous epithelium. Stratified squamous epithelium. Okay. Now, talking about the characteristic of this epithelium. So you write down cells are arranged. Cells are arranged in a pattern of layers. See, in this one, there is a very unique thing is that see, all of the epithelial tissue, they are very simple. For example, if I draw it, they are like this, a very thin layer. Okay, and
Okay.
from this diagram, you can see that there is only one layer, isn't it? Clearly visible,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
But now, when we talk about the stratified squamous epithelium, in that also there is only one layer, but it looks like it is actually arranged. Many layers are present. So its arrangement is that way that it looks like it is many layered, but it is one layered only. Okay,
Okay.
is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Now let us talk about the location of the stratified squamous epithelium. You write down outer protective, outer protective surface, or you can write down outer protective covering, outer protective covering of all body surface. Okay, now this is present on the outside, not on the inside. Okay,
Okay.
now the last one, which is the function. So in the function, you write down provides provides protection to the underlying tissue. You understand what is underlying? It provides protection to the underlying tissue. Is everyone done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you people understand what is the meaning of underlying tissues?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now let us talk about the third type. And the third type is your columnar epithelium. Now, with the name columnar, what do you think the epithelial cells would look like?
Column.
They would look like columns. Okay, so here what happens in the characteristics you write down cells are tall and cylindrical like pillars. Okay, or you can write down cells are tall and pillar like. Okay, meaning they are this way. Okay, for example, if this is the base, so they would look tall and they would look cylinder like or pillar like. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, where is
Yes,
it
ma'am.
present? Very good. Now, where is it present? So you write down that it is present in the lining, inner lining of stomach and intestine. Okay, so the columnar epithelium that is present in the inner lining of the stomach and the intestine. Now, talking about the function of this particular epithelium. So, what does it do? It absorbs, or you can write down the function is for absorption of the digested. You write down absorption of nutrients from digested food. Okay, absorption of nutrients from digested food. Is this thing clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now let us move on to the fourth type of cell or fourth type of epithelial tissue. That is your ciliated columnar tissue. Ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, ciliated columnar epithelium. Now see, whenever these are your columnar epithelium, isn't it? Now, whenever small finger-like projections, or very tiny hair-like projections, will be present on the top. Okay, these things, these projections, they are known as the cilia. So, whenever cilia will be present on the columnar epithelium, it will be called as the ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, so you write down the cell under the characteristics. You write down the cells possess fine hair-like cilia. Okay, whenever the columnar cells have cilia present on them, they are known as the ciliated epithelium. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right, so talking about the location of these tissues, you write down the location, inner lining of the trachea. Inner lining of trachea. You people understand what a trachea is?
Sorry,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Hmm?
What you said?
What were you saying, Nabila?
I said yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is it? Tell me.
The foot pipe.
Yes. Okay. Actually, you write down. After that, respiratory system. Okay, respiratory system and mouth. These are the places where ciliated columnar epithelium is present. You just write up till the respiratory system only. Okay, so these are the places where ciliated.
Ma'am,
Hmm?
your voice is cracking.
Is it fine
Yes,
now?
ma'am. Your voice
Hello?
is coming.
Hello,
Yes,
are you people able to hear me?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in the function, you write down movement, you write down pushing of mucus. For example, if we are talking about the ciliated columnar epithelium that is present in the respiratory tract or the respiratory system. So what does it do? It like the brooming motion. You understand brooming? When we clean
Yes.
our house, we broom,
Yes,
right? So
ma'am.
there is a motion that we do. Yes. So that motion is the brooming motion. So that motion is done by the cilia in order to move the mucus. Okay. So you write down in the function in the respiratory tract, in the respiratory tract, the movement of cilia, the movement of cilia pushes the mucus forward, pushes the mucus forward to clear it. Okay, this is the function of the ciliated columnar epithelium, which is present in the respiratory tract more particularly. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
all right, very good. Now, coming on to the fifth type, that is your cuboidal epithelium.
Ma'am, you said there is only four type of
Yeah,
epithelium.
see, yes, yes. See, in general, there are four only. But what is happening here? We have a modification, and because of which we are counting it as a different one. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can write down six altogether, six also. Okay, but in the NCRT book, only four of them are mentioned. Okay,
Uh, okay. Like normally there are six or many are there?
you can say six.
Okay.
Yes. Now you write down about the cuboidal epithelium. Is my voice coming fine?
Yes, ma'am, your voice is correct.
Okay. You write down cuboidal epithelium. Now this is the fifth type. Okay. And now talking about the characteristic, what do you think this epithelium would look like?
Tubes.
Yes,
Uh,
very good. Cube, like the name is there, cuboidal, isn't it? It means that we have a cuboid there, cube shape. Okay, so you write down the cells are cube shaped. Okay, the cells are cube shaped. And then in the location, you write down where they are located. So the lining of kidney, lining of kidney tubules, lining of kidney tubules, as well as ducts of salivary gland. Ducts of salivary gland. Is it clear?
yes, ma'am.
This is the location. And if I'm saying that it is present in the lining of the kidney tubules, then what does it mean? Is it present on the outside or inside?
Can you repeat
Inside.
once again, ma'am?
If I'm saying that it is present on, like, as the lining of the kidney tubules, then is it present on the outside or the inside?
It will be present inside.
Yes, inside. Very good. Now, the last one, the function here is that it helps in absorption. You write down helps in absorption. It helps in the absorption of useful material from urine. of useful okay.
Okay.
And then coming on to the last type, okay, the sixth type. Then in the sixth type you write down the last one is glandular epithelium. They would be like gland like, okay, glandular epithelium. So you write down in the characteristics, you write down epithelial tissue which folds inwards to form a multicellular gland. Okay,
Ma'am,
this
what does it
epithelium.
mean?
What?
Like I'm asking, what does it mean?
Yes. See, the glandular epithelium basically when the epithelial tissue is present and it folds on the inside. Okay, if this is the tissue and it is folding on the inside, then this part it will form a gland. Okay, and glands are usually for secretions, isn't it? So, glandular tissue or glandular epithelium is formed from the epithelial tissue when it folds on the inside. Okay, when the epithelial tissue folds, the glandular epithelium is formed. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now quickly write where is it present. So it is present in the stomach. It is present in the stomach, comma, intestine, and the pancreas. And then in the function, you write down synthesis and secretion, synthesis and secretion of substances, synthesis and secretion of substances at the epithelial surface. At the epithelial surface. Okay, the function is to synthesize and secrete certain substances. Okay,
Okay.
so that is your glandular epithelium. And with this, we have completed the different types of epithelial tissues. So is this thing whole, like is the whole thing clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am, it's clear.
Okay, what
Yes,
about,
ma'am.
okay, all right. Then this is it. And also, Galvin, can you tell me when is your like test? When is it? On which date?
What?
Hmm?
Ma'am, what? What test?
When is your test due? Do you have a test? Upcoming test, right?
No,
Okay, you don't.
my exam got over. My
Okay, okay.
science exam got over already.
Okay, when was it?
It was on 26th of November.
And how did it go?
It's not bad.
Bad. It went bad.
It's not, no, it's not, it's okay, okay, not bad.
Okay, okay. All right. So then that is it for today's class. Okay, you people have understood everything?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
am.
All right. Now in the next class, now see, the next normal class that we will have, we will like continue the improvement in food resources. Okay. But then
Oh,
this is like a backup class. So whenever we'll have a backup class schedule,